This is Hold My Stethoscope.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hold My Stethoscope. I'm your girl Brittney, and live from New York is my girl Felicia.
Hi, everybody. I'm your girl, Felicia. So glad to be here with you for another episode of Hold My Stethoscope. Woo, woo, woo. You know, we're both ER nurses and nurse educators. So,
Yes.
what's our hot topic tonight?
So today we are diving into something purely for fun. We are bringing you a really fun and entertaining episode. Today we are going to rank ER patients with love, of course.
Yes, with love. I love it. Yes. Okay. So, we're not judging. We're laughing through the shift trauma together. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's grab
So grab your stethoscope and listen
listen in.
in. All right. So we're going to rank them. We're going to kind of give them in different categories or different lists, the kind of tiers is probably the better way to say it. And remember, we're just doing this out of fun. If you
Out of fun.
guys have things that you think make the categories, please make sure you leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Yes.
So the first one we're going to do is going to be our S tier, which is our favorite type of patient.
Our favorite. No, the sweet grandma who says thank you and apologizes for being sick.
Yes, S tier. That is the sweet, nice patient for sure.
Sweet, nice.
Or you have that trauma patient that comes in who actually listens, doesn't start fighting with you when you're trying to put an IV in them.
Yes. And also, any patient who brings snacks automatic is an S tier.
Yeah, we feel like we've talked about this before. If you bring ER nurses food, you're automatically in the S tier for sure.
You're in, boo. We love
And
to
these
eat.
patients are definitely the favorite of ER nurses because as we get through the rest of these tiers, we deal with some hard ones. So we love our S tier.
We love our S tier. Yes. Next, we have our A tier. So we love you too, but you keep us busy.
Yes. So we all know those frequent flyers who come in and they know the drill because they're there every other day.
Yep. They actually walk in line. Hey, y'all. Room 6 again, they would say.
Yeah. They know us. We're family to them at this point. They know us by name, but they're polite. They know the things. They're grateful for our care.
Right.
They help clean up. Like they're the very nice frequent flyers that we see. So thank God for them.
Then we have our B tier. These are your harmless chaos. Okay. So I Googled it. I don't know. These are, they kind of just come in. Maybe they want to sleep. I don't know.
These are, I feel like these are like the worry wards, right? Or
They worry. Yeah.
Or the kind, right? We have parents that come in a lot with kids and they're like, I didn't want to give them Tylenol or Motrin because I wanted you to see that they had a fever.
Or the
Thank you, but
family
we wanted
member with
you.
the elderly person. Yeah, they're harmless, but they could be out of that room,
Right.
you know,
Where
because they're
it's like
nervous now.
they got a bug bite, but they're worried they've got some kind of like rare disease they that now have interacted.
Because guess what they did? Googled it.
Dr. Google told them.
Dr. Google is who told them that this is what it could be. But that's what we're there for, okay? So
Nice. So they land in our B tier because, well, they are chaotic.
but they mean well.
Yes.
They really do.
All right.
They're kind. They're funny, you know. So they land in that B tier. That is what that is. Right.
And then next, we're going to talk about our C tier, which is our mildly exhausting patients. These are the patients that come in with their abdominal pain. That's a 10 out of 10. Can't get any worse, but they're sitting over there eating chips in the waiting room. Exhausted.
Or they just scrolling through TikTok while we trying to start an IV, one phone in one hand. They got but they so busy doing it, they moving the arm. But they mean well. They do.
Yeah, it's like kind of those patients where you're like, "Stop getting out of bed," and then you turn around and they're getting out of bed.
And they're getting out of it. You know those little Houdinis? Those Houdinis is what I call them. Yeah.
They are. They're like legit, like,
Woo!
it's like
Oh, they will
you're like,
scout.
"Grandma don't have any strength, but man, when she wants to get out of bed."
Grandma got a lot of strength, okay? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Then there
So
is
we still
RD.
love you,
We
these
do.
patients,
We
but
love you all.
you
We
like
do.
to test our patience. That's for sure. You
And that's
definitely
true.
like to test our patience.
So then we have our D tier, who would be more of our patients, testing our patients. So that's that angry family member that's yelling out at triage before we even say hello. That's the introduction. My mom. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes.
What?
Or you have that patient that comes in demanding that they need a room right now. Or those patients that come out of the room and being like, I asked for a warm blanket when you're doing compressions to the patient next door to you.
Oh, yeah. They will literally come to that room where while you're doing compressions. I asked for a blanket for my mother. And then I'm sorry, guys, I got to keep it real, but they're going to get a long blink from your girl over here because do you see what we doing? And we would want to do that for your loved one too. So you just got to take deep breaths.
Yeah. These are the
I
patients.
do deep blinks.
So C patients, like definitely test your patients, but these ones that test your patience and your ability to remain calm and
That's it.
professional.
Remain calm and smile.
Yes, these are the patients that are very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
they'll still take care of you, but you are
Yes.
gonna get on our last nerve. For sure.
Yes.
Yep.
You're gonna push that button, boo. You're gonna keep on pushing and being on that call like no matter what's going on.
Oh, the D tier. If you're in a D tier, please consider moving to a different one. Okay. Just gonna put that out
Please,
there.
please, please consider other tiers. Get
Yeah.
more with
we
sugar than we do salt.
Yeah, if the general public's listening, if you can see in these tiers, we really, really love our S tier patients. So if
We
you could
do.
try to strive for them when you would visit the emergency department,
We
we
give
as
you
your
everything.
nation would love you.
Yeah, we love you.
All right. And then we have our last tier. This is our F tier. These are our returners, as we like to
High
call them.
utilize,
Yes, high utilizers.
we would say.
So these are like the patient that, gets angry, leaves against medical advice, and then comes back 6 hours later because now they're worse.
Or allergies to literally everything except for the one that begins with a D. And we all know what that is. But you know what, nurses? You got to be smart, healthcare workers. When they say it begins with a D, I
Demotrin.
don't know what you mean. It could be, I don't know. Could it be
Yeah.
dexamethasone? Like, I don't know. So I wait patiently for them to tell me what they are requesting.
Yes, I feel like that would also be another F tier is if you come in and use it like a drive through and you
Right.
demand, to pick, you want the Happy Meal along with a Shamrock Shake.
Because
Those
it's
are
not Burger King, have it your way,
correct.
right?
Those also go in the returner
Yeah.
category.
So consider a different tier, my friends. Consider a different tier. Don't come in there telling your nurse or doctor that the only medication that works for you begins with a D or a because you're gonna get something that begins with a T. Okay? Toradol, Tylenol. So consider the other tiers. That's all we're saying. You get more with what? Sugar than you do salt.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
I tell you, kill them with kindness
Kill
because
'em with
that
kindness.
will work every time. So yeah, we hope you kind of just enjoyed that little segment for fun. We see a lot of different personalities
God bless them. God
as
bless.
ER nurses and having to take care and be professional with all the testers of our patients. And like I said, please let us know in the forums if you have different ranking system or who you
Yes.
think feel falls in each tier, we'd love to hear it. We
Oh,
would love
yeah.
to kind of explore what else is out there, what else we miss, because we know there's a lot.
Lots. So it's about that time, everybody, for our
Mhm.
faith-based segment. So honestly, though, ranking them like this just reminds me of grace because God doesn't rank us. And that's the truth. Even when we're a total mess and we're all there at times.
We we are. So it's so true when you say that. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord." And that's just so true because we pick a field like the ER, just nursing in general, where we are still required to care and do the work that we were set out in and care for them no matter what circumstance or situation brought them to us. We're still called by the Lord and by our profession to care.
And so even, when it's hard, and we all have those days where it's just seems so difficult, and you're just dealing with an F tier shift because it doesn't feel like it's just one person. It feel like it's occurring the whole shift sometimes. Just
Pretty much.
remember who you're serving. Take that moment. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was nothing for Felicia to go to the chapel, sprinkle a little holy water because sometimes you just need it. Sometimes you're not there to receive it in the right way. And you know what? Just know that God's got you. Okay. So remember who you're serving.
Yeah, remember, it's definitely not about perfection. We're not perfect. We are very imperfect people. We are
Yeah.
going to not always do things right. We're gonna have people that test our patience, that test our faith, honestly, and some shifts where you really just want to go back and just like start the day over again, sage everything in the emergency department because it's a full moon on Friday the 13th and just it's just awful. It's like one of those shifts where you're like, I'm not coming back. But
Yeah.
remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about doing what we're called to do with a purpose. And sometimes that
Absolutely.
purpose is truly being patient.
Absolutely. And sometimes they will hit you with it soon as you start your shift, and
Do you
sometimes
have
you have to step back.
like a time or a story where you had a patient that really like tested your patience and how you were able to kind of maintain composure?
Absolutely. But, I'm working on this, everybody. I'm a work in progress and God knows his
Y'all are.
children. Okay.
Mhm.
My face says more words than my mouth. Sometimes I can get you in trouble, but I will tell you this, I will not allow people to have the opportunity, and it took me a long time to get here, to ruin my day. So what that means is I'm gonna give you an example of something that occurred. I usually, as an emergency room nurse, like to go and see my patients with the doctor. If they're not running behind. Now, I'm not gonna have a patient just sitting there and I'm not doing anything. But like if we have some doctors that are just fast, fast, fast. And I know they're going in, I'm going in with them so that we can hear the same story and not hear different stories. Because sometimes that occurs. Sometimes people forget that they maybe should have said this, said one thing to the nurse, said something to the doctors. One particular morning, we go to walk in, knock on the door, and the doctor introduces himself to the patient, and the patient is automatically at the highest tier. Not good. Not good at all. The attitude, the presentation, and I was like, gosh, it's literally 7:05 in the morning. And I do not want this to ruin my 12-hour day because I could feel my nostrils like fire was ready to come out. Like, see how I got it, guys? Like fire was about to fume. But I said, you know what, Felicia, you got to turn this situation around. 'Cause if not, this will ruin your day. So as I'm listening to this patient speaking with such disrespect to the doctor, I decided that to do my due diligence and chime in. I said, you know what? I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and step right on outside the door. We're going to start all over again. You know, I said, because I don't want to ruin my day. So this is what we're going to do. Doctor had no idea. I said to the doctor, come on. We walked outside the room. We closed the door. And then I knocked on the door, opened it, and I said, good morning. My name is Felicia, and I'm going to be your nurse. And this is Dr. Blah, 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 blah. What brings you to the emergency room today? And my reason being was because we needed to start that morning all over again because 7:05 a.m. was not going to cut it that somebody was being just that rude and nasty when I had to go an entire 12-hour shift. I turned that thing around. What did that do? Make the patient take a step back. They couldn't do anything but react and tell us what their chief complaint was. And that made my day.
I
Really
love
did.
that.
How about you, Brittany?
Dang, girl, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Just
a good
started all over again.
strategy. Yeah, that's a great strategy.
Just started all over again.
I mean, there's so many. We deal in the ER. I don't feel like a lot of ER nurses realize how much psych that is a part of emergency nursing. Um, Until you live it. I
Yeah.
would say probably my last one, and this is actually while I was still in the educator role, but I was out on the floor helping out. There
Yes.
was this mental health patient that had come in and just not being very cooperative. And bless everybody's soul, they're all busy. They're trying to get things done. But I would say, with that, maybe not the F tier, but up there, I was able because I didn't have patience at that time. I was able to sit and like talk to her. I was able to kind of de escalate the patient and get her to a place where she could trust me that we were able to then proceed as a team to getting what we needed to get done for her safety. So
Absolutely.
it kind of brings you back. Like sometimes maybe you don't always have the time because you've got 7 billion things and we've talked about
Right.
priorities and all of that stuff. But maybe that's a time where you bring in a coworker who's got a more empathy,
A
like, listen,
absolute
sometimes we've got some RBF going on. I will admit it too, but somebody who's
right.
got a little more patience, or like you're trading out and be like, this person is exhausting. Like, can you please tag in? And like, I'll go take care of that thing that you need done. Because sometimes you just need that reprieve or a fresh set of eyes or something to kind of help you deal with this situation so you can resolve it in a way.
Absolutely. Say, listen, they knew, as a charge nurse in the emergency room for years, I was all about upselling. So I would go into situations, walk into situations where maybe the patient wasn't very happy with their nurse, requesting another nurse, and me having to explain that I'm sorry, I just don't have another nurse. But being empathetic to what they were feeling and how they felt the conversation was, but never did I allow anyone to speak badly of one of my nurses. Like, I was all about that upselling, and I was all about making patients realize that we don't, even as a patient, you don't always know what the person that is here caring for you they're going through. It doesn't excuse anybody's behavior. But knowing that, sometimes the way things are delivered
Yeah.
on each side can be, what causes some of the issues. So I was big on de-escalating that and trying to bring the two back together. If they unite, then we can get through the time that this patient's going to be here and see them through. And then they realize, okay, this person really did care. Maybe it was my delivery, you know?
Think that's so important that you say that because I feel like that is a lot of times a problem. We talked about this before in previous episodes about communication and really
Right.
being able to like kind of have that empathy because we've all had bad shifts. Unfortunately, as
Absolutely.
much as we say it, we take things that are in our personal lives here or the
We
last bad
do.
shift and we're taking it. Like we're
We're
human
human.
beings. And, you meeting hostility with hostility, it's not gonna end well. I'm gonna just tell you
No,
right
it's
now.
not.
It does not end well. It doesn't make anything better. It makes things worse.
It
So
does.
trying to remember to be empathetic to your patients or family members is such a big thing. You don't know really what they're going through. And in that moment, we kind of talked about this also, is not taking things personally. Like maybe they're yelling at you, but once again, it's them projecting fear. They don't know what's going on with their loved one and they're in they're fearful. So they're projecting that on you. Like, we're not sitting here saying you must take the verbal abuse people are giving you, but there's a
No,
way that you
no,
can deal with that in a empathetic and stern tone
absolutely.
without escalating patients. So,
Because a lot of times they're overwhelmed as caregivers, with the fact that their loved one is sick and that they don't know what to do and they're trying to get something. They're all, and then they still trying to work and they still trying to take care of their family. It can be a lot on people. And sometimes we just have to take a step back
mhm. Yeah, I
and
feel
just,
like that's
uh,
very important is like knowing your own limits too, is that, you've tried. You've tried with this patient and for whatever reason, you are not getting through, you're just having issues, really knowing that like it's time to just step away for a minute. Bring in the charge nurse,
absolutely.
bring in a coworker, bring in somebody else to deal with it while you take a moment to like collect your thoughts and just like woosah because you don't
Right.
want, like Felicia said, you don't want them to ruin the rest of your day because that's gonna
No.
ruin, like, your experience with other patients, like, so just try to nip things in the butt early, try to de-escalate, don't
Absolutely.
make things worse, like, we get these patients, like we talked about, in their rankings, and it can be all how you take it, receive the message, it just comes all back to communication.
And pick your battles, people.
Ooh, yes,
Pick them. I
yes.
think pick your battles. Listen, if your hospital provides any type of beverages or sandwiches in the emergency setting, and somebody comes and they want one, why do you get upset? Give it to them if the doctor says they can have it. Sure.
We just talk about, like, you can bribe ER nurses with food, you can do that for your patients too.
Some people that's what they need. How do you know they didn't come in there hangry? And now we like exacerbating the situation because no, you're not getting any. You know what? Doctor such and such, is it okay for me to feed? They say yes. Honey, here's two juices. What kind of sandwich would you like? This is what I have. You have to pick your battles. It's not worth it. Know that. You don't need to be the nurse that's the tough girl. Nurses eat their own. They will eat up. That's not the feel for you if you are uptight that somebody's asking for a sandwich. Okay? That's
Yeah.
going to be the easiest thing you're going to do in a shift. Give them the sandwich. Give them a apple juice, cranberry juice, orange juice, chocolate milk if you have it, whatever you have, because you don't know that person's situation. You don't know, and it isn't gonna kill you to do it. Pick your battles. It's my take on it.
It's so true though. I think, sometimes and I do feel like this happens like as you work, right? You work overtime. Like you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're not doing all these things. You're not taking care of yourself, which we keep
So you're
preaching here.
stressed.
And it just, you come in with a already with a bad mindset and it's just gonna
Right.
make the whole shift. It's really just about, the mindset and how we communicate with people and
It is
like you said,
everything.
pick your battles. That's like, oh, that's a great piece of advice.
Believe me, that sandwich really makes somebody's day. Just giving them that sandwich, okay? Giving them something to drink. You don't know that you could have just turned that person's whole day around. Remember, we are no longer focusing on things that we can change.
Yeah,
We
but it's
focus
also
on
so true. It's like sometimes we just forget the little things, like the
the little things.
literally it's like the hierarchy of needs there, what's at the bottom, like food, water, comfort, all of those things. Like,
A blanket.
I'm
A
telling you,
blanket.
like if you've ever been a patient and laid on an ER stretcher or even an inpatient bed for that matter, they're awful. The rooms are freaking
Awful.
cold. You're freezing. Like I go into the ER and I'm like freezing. Like
It's
cold. There's so many noises, like, everything's beeping at you.
everything. So
It's
you
just
know what?
that
If
could
I
be
could
the
give them the
environment.
whole blanket warmer, I would. I would roll that bad boy in there and say, "Get your blanket out every time you need another one." I know how cold it is when I've been in the ER. I've been not only working, but as a patient, inpatient in the hospital. They ain't changing the AC and regulating the temperature because of me. So it doesn't hurt me to make sure that I keep the warmer full so I can make sure that the patient is warm if they're asking me for it. You know, but I know those things can get stressed when you're dealing with this over here, you're dealing with this, you got an ambulance outside your door, find out you got a trauma coming in. I know it gets overwhelming, but this is why we have our nursing buddies. You need to be okay with asking for help. Okay?
Yeah.
Can't do it
Yeah,
all. You're not
yeah.
superwoman. You are superwoman, but you're not. So, you know what? Or Superman. So therefore, utilize your help. Sometimes I will utilize the family. We need to change, mama. Everybody else stuck and busy with somebody else. Ma'am, do you mind helping me out with mom? I've never had a no. I've never had a no. We got to get them back to their normal ADLs.
Yeah, and it's just, I think we've talked about this before and we'll probably continue to talk about this till the end of time, but like being a nurse is hard.
It
Being
is
a nurse
hard. It's
is
hard.
hard,
It's
but we
hard being a
can't
nurse, period.
so hard. It's rough out there. It's really rough out there. Like we know that.
It's
I
hard
just
on your
really
body. It's hard on your mind. It's hard on
yeah,
everything.
I don't want people to like lose that empathetic nature that I hope people come in the field with. And
Absolutely.
I really believe like and maybe it's shame on me that people come in with altruistic, measures and being able to like truly care. Like you should
Right.
care. You should
Right.
want to help people and
Right.
don't let bad situations like change your mindset or make you negative because at the end of the day like we just really need to get back to having empathy and not taking things out on each other on our patients and
Right.
all of that stuff, so
Yes.
we just got to keep trucking along, girl,
Yes, we do, and we will.
and we're here for you if you need
We
a
are.
we are. Guess what though, now it's our favorite time. We have
To
come
what?
to
Rock?
Yes, we
Yes.
are
Oh,
time
Brittany,
to
what's your job? The stethoscope moment.
Ooh.
What's the
So, we recently at the church I attend, so this was a little while ago, but I don't know why it's coming in my mind now, but we just did a trunk or treat there and it was really fun. We ended up having to go Saturday. We've been going to church on Saturdays because I on my free time, which I don't have any free time. I'm also a clinical instructor for university. So I have clinicals on Sundays. We did trunk or treat at the church on a Saturday night. And so we got all the material to decorate our trunk with Super Mario. I got the whole Princess Peach costume. My boyfriend was Donkey Kong. And it
nice?
was just so much fun, like handing out candy, seeing all the kids in their like in their little costumes. So
Love
it was
it.
it was a lot of fun, and then, like I said, I've been having my clinical groups on Sundays, so I have, nursing students I take to one of the local hospitals, which is also fun, so I feel like nursing students are another kind of group that I want to kinda reach because I know how tough nursing school is. Like, I
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
sort of nursing school back 20 years ago. And I remember how brutal it
It
was, and then
was.
I see how brutal it is
Right.
now. It hasn't changed.
No,
It
it's
sucks.
probably worse.
Yeah, it sucks. It does, straight up, it does. Like, nursing school's really, really rough. So, yeah, I like to be able to do that and then continuing all of my medmax edu things. If you haven't checked out my stuff, I do have a couple free resources on my Stan.Store. Check out my social media, Felicia's social media, all of kind of the things. We really want to make this family a family. Like we really want to have a Hold My Stethoscope family and make it a
Absolutely.
community. So please reach out to us on our personal social medias. Make sure if you haven't been following my stethoscope on social medias, you do. Let's see. We're coming up close to, Thanksgiving. We've got Christmas around the corner. It's just like the busy time of year where there's just a
Yes.
lot happening. So it's just a little bit of chaos, but as a ER nurse, I'm used to that. So what's going on with you? What's your your
Well,
stethoscope moment?
so what I've been mainly focusing on now is getting packed up. We're going to be heading back to Florida.
I'm
Hey,
so excited. I miss my
for
girl. Like
nine
she's been
days.
gone forever.
Miss the sunshine. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed New York and all the quaint
It's
little
getting cold
places.
up there,
I
right?
love where I stay, and I'm grateful to God that I had this opportunity. But that sun is calling me in the sunshine state. So we've been getting things packed up to get things shipped off. Meanwhile, I've been kind of binge watching some Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, because I love a little horror
Ooh.
movie. I'm looking at them now and I'm like, oh, these kind of corny, but it's still like cool. So I've been kind of binge watching that. And then, just once we get home, preparing for the holidays because it's gonna be like a couple weeks or so.
Was just thinking that I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna get to put up all my Christmas stuff soon."
All my 7 Christmas trees.
Me
And
and
no, I don't have a big
Felicia
house. It's
have a
so
mutual love of Christmas, like, you don't believe,
Yes!
like, she usually, will, like, do, like, a little Christmas get together. I love going in her house. She has
Oh,
different, like,
yes.
her rooms are, like, each decorated for and a Christmas tree, and it's so fun. This time of year is, like, absolute just chaos. It's also, like, my favorite time of year. I
It
love
is.
Christmas. I love it all,
I
so
do
I'm
too.
so
I'm
excited
excited.
it's coming up.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing that this year." My daughter's
Oh,
like, "Oh,
heck
yes,
you
you
you are.
are, mom. Oh, you are."
Oh,
So
yes, you
I
are.
already know that I will because it makes me happy.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kinda like what we've been doing and what we're doing, and very excited again for this
Oh,
opportunity to come to New York for treatment, and they excited to be, heading home and seeing my girl and seeing all my friends and all the love. I love you all. Thank you so much.
I know it feels like you've been away kind of forever
I
now.
actually feel like it's a little weird to think about having to get back into the routine of things that I've been doing for years, but for some reason these past couple months
And also, like, we've said this before, we live in Tampa, Florida, so, like, being in New York is very different feel than being
is
in
total opposite,
Tampa.
honey.
So, like, you're not gonna be able to, like, walk everywhere, you're gonna have to get
And
the
no, and
car
that's
and
and
drive.
I will miss that walking to all those little quaint places and everybody minding their own business and doing their things. And I love those things. But the sun is important to me. We have vacation in our backyard in Tampa, Florida. Like we
Mhm.
have, I don't know how many beaches, too numerous to count. And I just miss that feeling. So, and I miss seeing my people and miss seeing my friends and just ready to get back into some normalcy. And so I'm really, really excited
Yeah,
about that.
I
And that
need you
is
to come back because I also need you to get me out of the house a little bit. I've been so
okay.
focused.
Honey, it's on.
Yeah,
It's on.
I've been so, like, focused on my business, and then I have
We
my
got to
regular
intertwine some
yeah,
fun in
my
there.
my
Yeah.
regular,
A
Monday through Friday job, my clinicals on the weekends, I'm
yes.
taking classes, growing my
Yes.
business, like, all these things that I feel like I never, like,
I'm so
have
proud of
time
you.
to decompress. So it's great, a struggle right now because I feel like I'm constantly doing something to get the ball, moving and rolling, and I know it's, gonna pay off and be worth it in the end, but yeah, it's a lot, and I'm kind of ready for the holidays. I'll be taking, probably about 2 weeks off to go up and see, I'm originally
Family.
from upstate New York, and my boyfriend, he's from Maryland, so we will be, like, splitting time between our families for about
Yes.
2 weeks or so. So that'll be a really nice, like, break to kinda just
Yes,
really
absolutely, and it's needed. It's needed, and you need to take it, and then that's
I
just
know
it
we
because you can never get these times back.
I
You
know,
know?
and we talk about this too, because right, we're always like preaching your work-life balance and all of this stuff. And if anybody does own a business, you understand that it's a lot to kind of get things off the ground and
Mhm.
running. And I mean, we talked about this on a previous episode too. Like you're obviously living in New York right now, like how expensive things are, and just like really trying to like, make a comfortable living.
Absolutely.
You just gotta hustle right now.
You do. You do. So, we love you all, and we wanna thank you for listening and, for just being part of this ER family. I can't express that any more than I have, that I just love, love, love my ER family, which is all of you and every nurse out there because we all have a place. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you and for what you do.
We have to
So
stick together as nurses
we
because,
do.
we talk a lot about ER nursing because that's our
That's our
technically,
background,
that's what we know.
but we know.
But as nurses, we have to stick together. We have a very hard profession,
We
and
do.
anybody that's listening to us, watching us, any of those things, you're part of our family now. Like, we're so
Absolutely.
excited you're here. We want you to
We
keep
are.
tuning in.
Yay!
We want to share the laughs with you, share the tears with you, share the inspiring stories, share the crazy, chaotic stories. We
Absolutely.
want to be a community. Like it's about building people up, helping each other through these rough times, seeking out, we talk about our faith a lot, seeking out God and living out his mission. So I feel like even though like we're both like dealing with things and busy and all of that, like this is just fun. We get to have so
Yes,
much fun and like talk to our people and like build this
absolutely.
family and community. So I'm excited to kind of keep growing and expanding our Hold My Stethoscope family.
All righty. So, guys, this is Hold My Stethoscope. All right. So, stay faithful, stay funny, and we'll see you
Next week.
all next week.
Love you guys.